Hello, hello. My name is Jason Myles, Jason O. Myles, hashtag the real estate trainer. And this is Real Estate 360. It's the Real Estate 360 show, and I am here with Alvin.
Yes, this is Alvin, and it is # the real estate wizard. So, I don't know about all these techno jargon things you're talking about. What's a hashtag anyway?
It's just a $.
Oh.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Okay.
So you're on the right track.
All
I don't even
right.
know how we got the hashtag name.
I know all of a sudden that it was hashtag, and I'm confused.
Oh, the kids these days. Just changing stuff for no reason. Just willy-nilly changing it.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Those kids,
So, Alvin.
We had the same problem back in the Middle Ages.
We did. Did we? Did
Yes.
we now? I just got to know.
Yeah.
What brings you to this modern day era that we're in?
Well, it's exciting real estate. Really,
Yeah.
I mean, well, I'm glad you mentioned that, Mr. Sam of the audio production team. The coronavirus, okay, is it bad or is it good? So it's good. It's all good. Everything's good because, challenges create opportunity.
Absolutely. We don't need all those humans on this planet, right?
That's right. No, it's not that at all. I was thinking of financial opportunities.
Oh, yes.
Not undertaking opportunities.
Yes.
Let's redefine undertaking. Let's undertake some financial opportunities.
Yes.
Instead of financially undertaking people.
Now we were talking before. I like that.
Yes.
We were talking just before the show.
Yes.
About taking advantage of opportunities, but keeping opportunities. Now, since we know you come from way back when,
Yes.
did you bring any of your strategies or properties forward with you?
Unfortunately, I did not bring any of my properties. That's and they don't transfer etherically properly. They come back all muddled up, and but I do have processes, and you know what I have noticed?
What pray tell is that? What?
Well, I'm glad you asked. I'm so glad you asked. So what I have noticed is that the more things change, the more they stay the same. And the processes in the Middle Ages of real estate, while we use things like trust and deeds and those sorts of things, but it's about the same. You buy low and you sell high. Maybe you add some square footage. You put some more not concrete blocks. We didn't have those back then. What am I thinking? Some boulders.
That's all right. That's right.
To add square footage.
Boulders and mortar.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
It was like camel dung. And
You're well
and
traveled.
boulders. Yes, that's right.
You're all over the,
Okay, mud and straw. Okay, I'm with you. So, but anyway, it's the same. We buy and we find our lenders to help us, and we bring in all the resources. So really, you stand back and you become a wizard of resources. So you got this guy over there that has money, and you have that guy over there that has a problem with real estate, and you have that guy over there that knows how to move boulders, and he works with mud and pine straw.
Right.
So you bring all that together, and you say, and then you pull your wand out, and you turn it on. Look.
whoa, the magic.
The magic is happening.
The magic.
And so you
Magic in the air.
swirl this around. This is really important. This is a very important part of real estate. You swirl it like this, and then you, bam, you put the energy into it.
The suspense
and
there.
Then you pull it back. And then when you pull it back like that, then that's when it all comes together.
I love it.
Like that.
So, but you bring up a good point there, Alvin. Alvin, the
Pound.
wizard. Pound Alvin the wizard.
Should I call it Hashtag real estate wizard.
I
just
like
don't
pound.
know.
I like pound. I like pound. Stay true to your wizard self.
Okay.
Right? But my question is this. You brought up a really good point. Is it better to understand the processes or have the relationships?
Wow. That's a deep question. I don't know. I'll be honest.
Because look, I tell people all the time.
You know what? I think I do know.
Yeah.
It's the relationship.
I think it is the relationships.
Yes.
And because I have conversations with people quite regularly that are always wanting to do something. They read every book, they know every phrase, they know, they sound like they know exactly what they're talking about, but they don't do anything. And they don't do it because they don't believe that they can. So, because they're, I think, trying to be this, one person show,
Yeah.
They know everything. They sound really, really good when you have a conversation, but they've never done anything.
I have found, and this is from, several hundred years of being around here.
Yes.
That I have found that words do not teach.
Yeah.
And you do not learn from a book.
Oh.
You do not learn from Excel spreadsheets, when you do the numbers. We called them just regular old spreadsheets.
I like the words do not teach.
They do not.
What is that, Confucius?
No, that's probably Abraham Hicks
Oh.
on YouTube. But words don't teach. You have to. Yes, probably Confucius too. So
I like that.
Yeah, it's just a known fact that you have to go do it in order to actually learn it. You have to get your fingers in the clay,
yes,
and start molding it, and in order to get the feedback and the experience and create that vibrational channel, if you will.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden things start to happen. Now, what I have also learned is, you can get overwhelmed with stuff because, when you ask for things start to show up. You don't have to do much more than that, except for you do have to answer the phone.
You gotta be present, right?
You have to. Yeah. You don't have to make calls. I'm confused for a minute because we don't have phones, back in 13.
I get it, but you're a very well-traveled wizard.
That's right. I've seen them here.
Yes. You're very well-traveled throughout the fabric of time and space.
That's right.
Yes. Yes. So they have those things.
Yes.
Yeah, I like it. But you're correct. You have to be present. In your case, you're omnipresent. But
and omniscient too. Might as well get that in there.
Yes, you are. I believe in an omnipotent being. Yes, you are, sir.
Now, you asked me about relationships or processes. Now,
Yes.
One of the things that I did bring forward, and of course I've noticed that they are here, is trust. And I don't want to talk about them too much, but it's medieval, and that's when they were invented.
Yes.
So why would you invent a trust? What is a trust? Well, land trust in particular is what we're talking about, and they are fantastic tools to use, whether you're in medieval Europe or you're in present day America. So a trust is simply a way to hold the deed.
Yes.
And so that no one knows who is the actual owner.
There are also other things that you can utilize a land trust for.
Really what?
Now, this is, earlier in my career. You were probably, still about 600 years old then.
Yes.
But they had laws in this land that would restrict how fast a wholesaler could sell a property or a rehab or anything.
Laws.
Yeah.
Laws hold people back.
They were holding. You had to hold a property for 90 days. It was called seasoning, and you had to find ways to get around that. And land trusts were ways to get around that because they were estate planning tools. So you could deed a property into a land trust without having to pay transfer taxes, by the way. Yes. And then you could sell it tomorrow if you so chose to.
Fascinating.
It was amazing. The guy that came up with it, I don't know who came up with that process, but man, it was, and that process predates YouTube.
Unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
Pound unbelievable.
It is unbelievable. So land trusts are great things, and there are so many other kinds of trusts, right?
Right.
There's family trust, there's ILITs, there's just all these different things that people have to go out and learn about if they want to incorporate these things to transfer wealth, for instance, without having to pay the quote-unquote death tax. And they have one of those. If you pass away, the government will take half your stuff.
I wouldn't know about that.
Yeah.
I mean, the passing away part.
That's right. That's right. So there's a lot of things out there, but the land trust is a great way to obtain, hold, and transfer real estate.
Okay.
And have the benefit.
I agree with you, and it's also a great secrecy thing. That's the only reason we used it back when I was, doing real estate back in the 1300s.
Because no one, even when you file them, there's no names on them.
Right.
It's just the name of the trust. It's an amazing thing. So now you heard some very covert things from Alvin the Great, and we're going to take a break and come back and talk about some more great stuff.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833WELLBUY.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español. Llámanos. Call us today.
And we are back. It's Real Estate 360. I am Jason O. Myles, hashtag the real estate trainer, and I am here with...
Oh yes. This is Pound, the real estate wizard, Alvin. Listen, can I clear something up?
Please do.
As I was traveling through space and time, I noticed that back in the 60s, there was this fella named Alvin. Well, I don't know if we could call him a fellow or not. Probably not, because something about Alvin and the Chipmunks. And I just want to make sure that everybody understands that I am not that Alvin.
Well, I think they can glean that from the fact that your voice is in a totally different octave.
Well, yes, it is. Thank you for that, noticing that. I appreciate that very much. You don't have any idea how much I appreciate that.
Yeah.
So Alvin was a quadruped, and I am.
You're using big words for our audience here, sir.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
What was Alvin again?
A chipmunk.
Oh,
he walked on.
that quadruped.
Four legs, or 4 feet. 4 feet. I don't know. I don't remember seeing feet on that fella. But anyway, you know what I'm saying.
I get it.
Yes.
Alvin, there's these things that have come around since your last foray into the 21st century. It's called podcasts. They're called podcasts. And we happen to have one. It's called Real Estate 360, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it and remind the listeners that we have a podcast called Real Estate 360, and it's pretty popular if I do say so myself, and if you haven't listened and you haven't subscribed, you must do that ASAP, and it's on every platform. In fact, I want to take this opportunity to thank iHeartRadio for putting us on their podcast platform. However that happened, it's the wizardry of Alvin, I believe. But thank you so much. So no matter where you listen to podcasts now, you can catch Real Estate 360. So thank you for those that have been engaging and that have subscribed. Pardon. And please, for those that haven't, do so. That way you can just drive around anytime and you can hear me and Steve or Alvin on occasion.
Yes, I'll show up every now and then. But, that sounds infinitely more efficient than having a page stand in the center of the square of the local village and announce things.
Well, we have something similar to that. It's a page.
Yes.
And it's standing in the kind of the center of the universe. It's called realestate360show.com, where we have this beacon of light that is real estate. And it's just forever shining. It never goes out. And anyone can go and visit it at any time. Again, it's called realestate360show.com. They can even see the podcast episodes there, the video versions of them, and they can even see what dates we have for events and what those events are that are coming up in the future.
What kind of magic is this?
Yeah, that's the modern day page.
By the way, that was a superior segue. I mean, that was amazing.
Oh, well. I don't know if I could have done it without you, Alvin.
Shall we talk about real estate or real estate mindset?
You know what? I think that we should talk about, this wizardry that you have of finding deals, because, a lot of people today have a very difficult time finding deals. They don't know how to find them, where to look, what to say, or even in some cases, they have a very difficult time in selling it, believe it or not.
Wow.
Not that they really do. They just don't know the processes, but it all starts with overcoming the hurdle of finding the deals. What kind of wizardry do you have in place for that?
Well, I have to be honest here about that. The wizardry that we're speaking of is no magic at all. Is no magic. Well, maybe a little magic. And the little magic is understanding the difference between the question. And the question is not, where do I find these properties? Because they're everywhere in every century. Because people will mess them up faster than we can fix them up. And
that's for sure.
So, and we're on this planet Earth, and we're here because we're here to experience difficulties and challenges.
Yes.
That's what we're here to do.
Yes.
So guess what? People have difficulties and challenges here. Have you ever heard of that?
I've once or twice. Yeah.
And sometimes they're related to real estate. Often they are. Yeah. So we find those difficulties and challenges. Now we're back to the question it's not where do I find them? Mm-hmm. It's how do I recognize them when I see them?
And it's also because nowadays we have this thing, it's called marketing. So it's really not where do I find the deals, but how do I get the deals to find me? Oh, so I come at that from the other side. So I think of myself as a big funnel, right? I'm at the bottom of the funnel, and the top of the funnel is this big gaping hole where all the leads fall in, right?
I see it.
So the deals find me. I don't really have to look for the deals. I put it out there. I'm fishing, if you will, throwing a big net, casting a very wide net, and allowing the deals to find me. And then I just sift through the ones that make sense in the various ways that we look at them.
You're a fisherman of real estate deals.
I guess that would be a good way to say it.
Fisherman.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes. I throw all the dolphins back, though.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
You shouldn't catch them to begin with.
No.
Wow, I like that. It beats. It sounds like it's more efficient than a scribe. Writing out, I buy houses. Alvin. No, I think better would be Alvin.
That's right.
# the real estate wizard, buys houses.
That's right.
Call. What does that mean? Get your megaphone out and yell, "Hey, Alvin,
that's right.
come."
It's the modern day version of that. There are so many ways that people can do this now.
Yes.
Alvin the wizard. There are obviously the current modern day scribe, which is direct mail and flyers, things like that.
Yes.
But there are so many services out there that people can utilize. I'm just going to name what those services are, not the company name, as we are not promoting any of those companies, but there are text messaging software that you could utilize.
They are not sponsors yet, and they need to pay in order to get a promo, right? Is that what you're saying?
That's right. It's exactly what I'm saying.
Now, I don't know. I'm just here as a guest today.
But there are just so many ways to find these deals that people just have to be willing to put it out there, be consistent with their efforts. And because I think that there is a lack of consistency in the market for not just the new investors, but for a lot of people that actually teach these new investors how to go out here and find these deals. One of the things that I've noticed is that they never, ever, ever talk about the consistency that is needed in marketing. And to me, it's common sense, but I know what's common ain't common, right? Because we see it every day when we walk down the street,
right?
When we're in our modern day horse and buggy, we see Coca-Cola, Delta, Comcast, whatever. We see it everywhere we go. We see it so much we don't even see it anymore.
Right.
But in the back of our mind, when we go and we move into a place and we need to turn our cable on, we automatically think of Comcast. If we're in the Atlanta market, we automatically think of Comcast in one of two ways. One, I hate Comcast.
Yes.
but I have to get it, or I'm going to do everything I can do to stay away from it, right? Those are the only two things, but it comes up first, and then everything else is second. AT&T or, whatever else is available out there, everything else is second. But the consistency in the market, whether you love these companies or not, they are mega. They're juggernauts. They're mega companies. And Bill Gates, who is another modern day wizard.
Yes, I've heard of him.
He says, "Listen, if I've got $2, I'm spending one of it on marketing."
Wow.
And his product was, by a lot of accounts, a very inferior product, but
it was the only one.
It was the only one.
Yeah.
I mean, you could not compete.
Yeah.
You could not compete.
What they have done is they have accessed your reticular activator, and now you cannot help but see them.
Did they always talk like this in the Middle Ages?
Of course they did, naturally. So you know how you buy a car and you buy a yellow car, and you've never seen a yellow car until you buy one, and all of a sudden there's yellow cars all over the place.
Everywhere.
Crazy. But let's go back to the real estate thing.
Yes.
So the formulas that we used back then to help us, determine what a good real estate purchase might be, would be we would find a house and then we would figure out how much it might be worth after we fixed it up. We called that the ARV.
Now, did you keep in mind, did you pay any attention to what was going on in the village?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Constantly, yes.
Yes.
Naturally, everything closer to the castle was more valuable.
Yes,
because it was easier to get to the market.
I can see that. Yes.
Yes, and things haven't changed. We sometimes that might be called inside the perimeter.
Ah,
here,
they have. What is that? They have a term for that. What is that term?
ITP.
Sam? ITP.
Inside that's it.
Yeah,
inside
an acronym there.
So 70%. So we want to figure out what they're worth. And then we do the math. You don't even have to know the math here because you guys have calculators. So you can do it with a calculator if you have to.
Well, you guys had calculators back then. They were called abacus.
Yes, we
Abacuses.
did. We did, but those
is it the abaci? I don't know.
That was those.
What's the plural version?
That
of
was those Chinese people. I don't think we had those in Europe.
Not in Europe.
That was in China.
Okay.
So, and then you do the 70% because that's where the lenders, the guys over there Myles talking about earlier.
The money lenders.
That's right.
They were hated in your time.
Yeah, man. They were. Those Templars. The Knights of the Templars. I wasn't going to say a word. No, I can't say that on this particular casting thing. So, let us
get another
delve
example
deeper.
Of your omnipresence.
There's no 7-minute shut-off valve here.
Well, there is.
We're out of time, I see.
Yes, we need to take a quick break there. We need to take a quick break. We do that.
Do you need to sell your house? Well, our company will buy your house. We make the process very fast, very easy, and it's all cash. All you have to do is give us a call today.
We'll buy your house. Click 833willbuy.com. That's 833willbuy.com.
Or call 833-WILL-BUY.
Se habla español, llámanos, call us today.
And hello and welcome back to this is the Real Estate 360 show.
Now you're getting it.
Yes. Am I going fast enough?
You are getting
Am I speaking fast enough?
you know what? I'm just glad you're here.
Okay.
Alvin # the wizard.
Yes.
I'm loving it.
I was here visiting a few weeks back, and Sam, your technician here,
yes.
the audio technician,
yes.
He's talking about starch. And he says, "Oh, you like a lot of starch in your shirts, don't you?" And I said, "Yes, I do." And so I watched him with his eyeballs. I looked into his eyes and I saw him categorizing me, pigeonholing me into a segment of his belief system. And there I am as a starched shirt old fogey. So back to the important part of the show. Isn't this the Real Estate 360 show?
It is. I got to say one other thing, about a conversation that you and Sam were having. I thought, Sam had a question for you, and that question was all about compound interest and how it doesn't affect you.
Amazing. It doesn't affect me?
Yeah. Well, it does, but it doesn't. You don't have to wait like the rest of us.
Oh, I see.
Mortals.
Oh, that's right. Oh, yeah. Oh, compound interest. Einstein, the fellow, in my future and your past said that the most amazing thing in the entire universe was compound interest. And because you get to make money on the money that you just made on the interest, and it goes over and over and over and over again. So, yes, I have brought forward some compound interest. So being a master of time and space, I can jump forward and get the immediate effects of compound interest. Now, you mere mortals, you may have to wait.
Couple generations probably, right?
Well, no, you can wait 5 or 10 years. But it depends. There is the rule of 72, where if you have for instance, a 10% interest rate, you divide that by 72, you will find out how many years it will take for your money to double.
7.2 in that case.
Very good.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You don't even have a calculator in front of you. So if you have a 20%, then that will cut that time in half.
That it would.
And all compound interest.
That it would.
Amazing.
It is an amazing thing.
Yes.
It's an amazing thing. Going back to what you were talking about with the trusts, if you have assets in a trust and there's compound interest benefits there, oh my goodness, once you're transferring, from one generation to the other,
that's right,
based on the laws of that particular time.
Yeah.
We're talking about enormous amounts of wealth. Did you know, Sir Alvin, that
I'm not a sir, I'm just
okay.
Wizard.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wizard.
Yes, sir.
Alvin the Wizard. Alvin # the Wizard.
I like to keep a low profile. I don't want the queen knowing I'm around because she's the only one who can grant the sir thing, the surname.
Today, in the world that we live in today, in America, that is, you can transfer $11.4 million to your heirs through a trust without ever being taxed. Well, everything above that you'll be taxed on. Now that changes on January 1st, 2026. It goes to half of that. Yeah, it goes to half of that, 5.7 million.
Make two trusts?
No, you couldn't. I mean, you technically can, but
yes,
you can't be married. You have to have a quote-unquote life partner. Yeah.
Okay.
You can also give away currently right now, every single year, $15,000 away to whoever you want. There's just one gift per person.
Right.
Tax-free. Tax-free.
It has to be only one person?
No. You can just give it to that person once. You can't give it to them twice in a year.
Well, can you give it to different people?
You can give it to 10, 20 different people if you want.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Taxes, and they say the only thing that you can count on is death and taxes. So
you can count on taxes, but these aren't things that you learn in school, by the way. These are things that you have to get out here in the world and figure out. And you have to put yourself around those people. It's like you talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Is it the process or the relationships, right?
Well, you said that.
Well,
I agree.
Piggybacking off
I figured it out. It took me a minute.
Processes are important. We know that. We know that the processes are important, but having the relationships is infinitely more important because the relationships can help you learn the processes that you don't know. Because you don't know what you don't know until it's time for you to know, if that actually makes sense.
Yes, I'm catching up.
Because I wouldn't have known anything about some of the things that we do today, specifically as it relates to trusts and, certain aspects of taxes in particular. I would have never had a reason to know those things. I would have, in the worst version of my life, I would just be working a corporate job somewhere, being W-2'd, right, getting excited about tax season.
Well, necessity is the mother of invention. And so, you have to get out and find out what the challenges are.
Yeah.
And then you find the challenges and then you say, okay, what's the solution? And then there you go. But I wanted to continue the formulas that are centuries old.
Shed light on us.
Oh, yes. We're going to get to that. Absolutely, because you've got to have the magic.
Yes.
Got to have it, because without the magic, there is no magic.
Oh,
so
it's profound.
Yes, it is.
It's profound.
Now, we talked in the earlier segment about 70%, because that's what your hard money lenders are going to want to lend on that property, because they do not want to take on much risk.
Yes, our current day money lenders.
That's right,
Yes.
current and past.
Yes.
So they're all the same. They want collateral.
Yes.
And so that collateral, and by the way, I'm not Bernie Sanders, although it sounds a little bit like it. And so I'm sorry, I broke into laughter there for a moment. And
it was laugh worthy.
Anyway, so you got your 70%, and those hard money lenders are risk averse. They don't want the risk. That's why they're lenders. They don't want to jump out into the investing marketplace. They said, just put my money here. I want to earn my interest, and I want to compound it. I want to be like Einstein.
Yeah.
And so they lend their money, and then so now you have to go find what it's going to cost to fix that.
Not only that, but it's not just the 70% ARV that they won't go beyond.
Right.
They also expect you to put down at least 10%.
That's right. 10% what? Of the
10% of your acquisition.
Yes. So they want you to have some flesh in the game.
You got to have some skin in the game.
Oh,
but
skin.
It also reduces.
That's what they call it now.
Yes, it's
okay.
It's no longer a pound of flesh.
Oh.
Yeah,
thank you for bringing me to this century.
Yes. Softer times, very, very much softer times.
Oh,
but
good.
Yes. So it brings down their 70% LTV. So they're actually in it for substantially less, somewhere around 65 or 67, depending on the cost of the renovation.
I think I want to be a hard money lender.
Yeah.
No, I'm an investor though. I'm more risk tolerant.
Yes.
Anyway, so you bring you find your deal, or you're looking for it. And you got to look at all these formulas, and then you need to know what it's going to cost to fix that property so that it will be acceptable and saleable to the next peasant that comes along that wants to buy it.
They just call them
bourgeoisie, whatever category you're selling to.
They just call them people today.
Peoples.
Yes. Buyers. Yeah.
Yes.
The consumer, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so the voters, somebody said voters. So I'm not Bernie Sanders, but I'll take some delegates. Anyway, so you got all these resources that you're pulling together in order to make a profit.
Yes.
Is profit still allowed?
That's still allowed. It's still allowed. But unless, yes, it's still allowed. Currently, under the current administration, profit is paramount.
Thank God.
Above all else.
Thank God for that. Okay. So then, like I mentioned before, we got to turn the wand on. Okay, the wand is on. Are you ready?
Here's the light.
So you have your property that you have identified. You have a contract to purchase it. You have now you may want to just sell that contract because now you've created a valuable piece of paper.
That's correct.
And it could be parchment. It could be paper. I don't know what you do here. It could be digital.
Wow.
So you get your contract, and that is the most powerful part of this whole equation.
The contract.
That's right. So then that's when the light comes on. So you've got your numbers that are working, and then you have your estimate for fixing, and you've got your hard money people lined up, and then you do what we talked about earlier. You must swirl the wand to bring all of these resources together. You can hear the energy and the vibration happen. And then you push the wand forward, just like that.
There it
and
is.
then now just for extra effect, let's twirl it a little bit more before we bring it back. And bam, there is your transaction all together. So that, and guess what? A profit just falls out of the middle.
And now there is cash in hand or shillings, whatever you call them.
Yes. Promissory notes. Certificates of gold deposits, that the Templars are holding. Whichever. So now we got to turn the wand off because we have to reserve our battery life.
It's a modern day wand.
That's right.
I guess the original one doesn't travel well.
2 AAA batteries will only last you so long. So
I tell you, man, there are so many ways to get involved in real estate and do these deals. We can talk all day about the processes, about the services that are available to us currently today. It is my experience that the best results come from the oldest options. But that coupled with some of the newfangled things really kind of helps out a lot. But there's way more to it than just the processes. So let's talk about that a little bit when we get back.
Hi, this is Sammy with Sammy Hadid Real Estate Keller Williams. Are you looking for a top producing agent who will look out for your best interests? Top dollar on the sale of your home, a well-negotiated contract, an efficient closing? Please call me at 305-978-4249. I'm more than happy to set up a consultation. I'll put together a proposal for you to net top dollar for your home, what it is that I'm doing to get all my homes sold. Then you can decide what's best for you. Again, I'll do whatever it takes to get your home sold for top dollar, and I promise you that I will protect your equity with my life. 305-978-4249. Sammy Hadid, Hadid.
And welcome back to the Real Estate 360 show.
It's a really good show.
Yes, it is. This is Pound Sign, the Real Estate Wizard.
Yes. So this is Jason O. Myles, hashtag the real estate trainer. Hashtag was formerly known as Pound.
Oh.
Yes.
Should I say Pound?
No. I think you should stick with who you are.
Okay.
Stick with who you are.
Should I say hashtag?
No. I'm liking the Pound.
Liking the Pound.
Pound the Wizard.
I understand the Pound. Okay. Hey, the one thing that translates from century to century in real estate is mindset. And we were talking about that, and we talk about that constantly.
Yes.
But I just got here, so I'm not sure how that happened.
Alvin, I was at an event over the weekend, and it was with a bunch of investors or potential investors. Really, there were only other than the speakers, there were only, and myself, I think there were 2 other people that had done deals. It was a multifamily event. There were people there, though, that you could actually have a conversation with. I mean, in terms of they understood the language. To some extent, they understood the processes, but they had never done a deal. So when myself and one of the other gentlemen and 2 of the panelists we were sitting at a table having a conversation, the next thing you know, we have an audience. And this was, of course, after the event.
How many people were there?
Total at the event?
Total, not counting speakers.
Not counting speakers, just there were probably 20 people. It wasn't a huge event.
So 3 had done a deal out of that 20.
No, 2.
2.
Well, including me.
You're a speaker.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were 2 people that were there that had done a deal.
That's a very high percentage.
That had actually done a deal.
Yeah.
Wow.
Back in our time, there was this gentleman who was selling real estate information. His name was Carlton Sheets.
Ah, yes. He is archaic.
Yes. So Carlton found out that 98% of the people that he sold his program to never took it out of the plastic.
Yeah.
Oh, plastic. It's a new thing.
That's a modern thing, yeah.
Yeah. So your 10%
it was
very high.
So but one of those people stayed, and there were the four of us that had actually done anything. We were just having a conversation, and there were about 6 or 7 people that just pulled up chairs to listen to what we were talking about. I mean, just to listen. Eventually, of course, they asked questions because we were looking over our shoulder, like, why are these people sitting behind me in this manner? But they just sat there, and we sat there for about an hour, kind of answering questions for them. And the biggest question that I had was, why have you not done anything? You've read everything. You obviously know a little bit about the processes. that are associated with this. And my analogy for that is you can read all you want on how to ride a bike, but until you get on the bike and work out all those little intricate muscles that actually help you keep your balance and, thrust yourself forward, you're never going to know how to do it. You have to get on the bike to know how to ride the bike. You can't tell me what you read. You have to do it, because it's the little nuances inside of deals that will make or break the deal.
So what you're saying is that words don't teach.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I've heard that.
Words do not teach.
Yeah.
And even though, and this is one of the guys that was there, I mean, not that he was just jumping too far in, he could talk about everything we were talking about, but had never, ever done a deal. Never pulled a trigger, never did he had done single family stuff, but he's trying to branch. And I've been going to that event now for nearly a year, and he's there every month. Well, every month that I was there, he's been there. So I'm making the assumption that he goes every month.
Has he ever written an offer or LOI?
He has not. He's done nothing.
That's the starting point.
And that was my only conversation with him. Just make an offer. Just make an offer.
Yes.
Just make an offer on a small one, relatively speaking, so that you could be assured that you'll get the financing. If it's any bigger than, 40 units, get yourself a sponsor.
The multifamily I have found is much less scary than the single family, and simply because you can write a LOI, a letter of intent.
Yes.
And right at the bottom of it says, hey, this is great information here, but it doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean that I'm contractually bound. Doesn't mean you're contractually bound. It's just I intend to do something maybe.
That's correct. Another thing, though, that holds people back from stepping into something like that, really, it's not just multifamily. It's just anything outside of your financial comfort zone. Dollars.
The uncertainty.
It's the dollars.
Uncertainty.
It's the dollars.
It's the dollars.
It's not even the uncertainty.
Oh.
Because most of these people, they know that people are making money in real estate, but it's the dollars. If you are a regular 9-to-5 person, let's say, and for the majority of them, the single largest purchase of their entire life will be the home that they buy. Not the second home, not the third, the first one, because that's generally it. Maybe they'll buy a second one later on. But, it will still be their main residence. It won't be a vacation home. Right. But that's the largest purchase. And then, of course, when we listen to the financial pundits of the world today, they tell you that, your home is the anchor of your wealth. And there is some truth in that for the average person who does not really invest, right? Or they consider their 401k an investment, which it technically is, but I'm
glad you're talking about this home. When I was entering to the real estate arena, I was looking at, people buy houses and they go up in value over 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, wow, that would be fun to do if we could shorten the time frame down to 1 year or 1 month.
Right.
Or much sooner, and then buy and sell them. Oh, that's called real estate investing.
It is. Well, or speculating. I like to call that speculating. I look at wholesaling as not investing, as speculating. That's just my personal opinion. It's the way to get into investing. Investing, to me, goes back to making a good, sound choice, and that really making you money over time, right? And wholesaling does fit in a lot of ways into that, but it's short. It's kind of like being a day trader. You're a trader. Right?
It's a job.
Yeah, you're trading.
It's an activity. Yeah. It's not an investment.
Right, you're trading.
So you're trading some amount of your time for some dollars.
Yeah, but
now, hopefully
it can be pretty significant, right?
Yes,
and it definitely opens up doors. But again, going back to what I was saying, it has to do with being comfortable talking about money as well, because every market isn't Atlanta, where you can still find whole houses for under $100,000. You get the whole house and the land. How about that? It's not like that in all parts of the country. Okay, so when people get accustomed to $150,000, $200,000 deals all the time, well, simply by adding 1 0 to that, you're going to eliminate probably 99% of those people that could invest in something a little larger because they're afraid to talk about money. They're afraid to talk about millions, six figures even. You know,
Yes.
It blows their mind. It's unfathomable to be able to go and get a loan. I'm refinancing my house to take full advantage of these super low interest rates, right? Of course, I have a lot of appreciation.
Yes. Well, you bought it with a lot of appreciation.
I bought it with a lot of appreciation, a lot of equity.
Equity,
Yeah.
that's it.
And then there's appreciation on top of that. So I'm having a conversation with the loan officer and saying, hey, listen, you need my asset sheet, right? Oh, you have assets? Yes, but it's real estate assets. Oh, we're going to need to know that. Now, this is your typical,
Homeowner
right.
loan officer.
Exactly.
Yes. Oh, yes, I've heard of them.
Yes, they're the typical loan officers. So they're like, well, they're only going to take this percentage of that and that percentage. I said, no, not commercial's a little different. But even if they do, here's the asset sheet. And we never got past the first one because she couldn't believe that
The equity was so big
just the
in
loan
such
amount
a short
in her
amount
mind.
of time.
Just the loan amount. I mean, the equity amount was a whole nother conversation on the back end of that, but just the loan amount, compared to the loan I was seeking, was so much larger than the loan I was seeking. And I said, look, I don't need, I don't take loans out of that so I can live in, multi-million-dollar houses. I don't want a house that big, right?
Right.
My house is big enough for my family and I, right? And it's substantially, in terms of the loan and the size, it's substantially smaller than the multifamilies that we buy. But the point I'm trying to make is she could not get past the dollar amount, the loan amount, the outstanding loan amount.
We're back to the mindset.
It's the mindset. You have to be comfortable talking about money.
It's about belief.
It is.
.com,
If
by the
you've
way.
got a problem with it, how can I? I love that. I love that pitch right there. But if you can't be comfortable, if I can't be comfortable talking to you about money, especially if I'm raising money, how do I expect you to be comfortable with me?
It's all about mindset and the attraction. You have to become that thing that you wish to have.
Yeah.
It's not that you go seek it, because that's not the way it works. It doesn't matter what century you're from.
Yeah.
It works the same. You become it, become the mindset, and you decide. Very critical thing. It's almost like this thing right here comes on. A decision has been made, and now the universe starts to circle all the resources for you, and bam, and you pull them back, and they're yours.
Yeah.
So that decision is a critical thing, and some people are in or they're out, and they're in and they're out, and they're in and they're out. What does the universe do with that?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just really about just making up your mind.
Yes.
And then just rolling with it.
Yes, it is.
And without second guessing it. That's who you are. That's what you are. That's where you are. And that's what it is.
Now, I have some advantages being from, over centuries of time. And I know a few things. And some of those things that are coming up here, like the presidential election.
Well, on that note, I'd like to say
and I'm
going
to tell you who the next president of the United States will
I'd like to say thank you for watching and listening. This is Jason Myles with Alvin, and we are out of here. This is Real Estate 360.